Every additional day the White Sox wait and worry about losing Manny Machado to the highest free agent bidder, the Cubs come closer to keeping Kris Bryant off the open market in 2021. That's merely an opinion rather than fact, hypothesis more than hyperbole. That's one way to interpret the slog the Major League Baseball offseason has become, the local prism through which to view this extended period of inactivity. That's impossible to prove or disprove but compelling to consider. In an ironic twist, baseball's winter of Bryce Harper and Machado ultimately might help the suddenly budget-conscious Cubs nab a blockbuster free agent. After all, Bryant's complaints at the recent Cubs convention about Harper and Machado remaining unsigned as February approaches showed his awareness of the changing landscape concerning so many players. Like many in and around the game, Bryant struggles to understand why so few teams have considered signing either 26-year-old superstar entering his prime. But to the chagrin of baseball, that has happened, with reports speculating both players eventually will have to settle for a deal worth much less than industry expectations. The Sox and the Phillies are the only two known teams to show serious interest in both players, who possess the potential to change the trajectory of a franchise. Yet 2 weeks before spring training, suspense still surrounds where Machado and Harper will land. John Morosi of MLB Network reported Wednesday that no Machado signing was imminent, while reports earlier in the week that Harper chose the Phillies were unfounded. The unknown spawns an uncertainty that resonates in every baseball city and affects every other unsigned player waiting for the big dominoes to fall first. That uneasiness permeates every clubhouse. Astros owner Jim Crane underscored baseball's unwelcome new normal last week when he predicted the end of 10-year contracts and pointed out the hazards of long-term commitments to players. Labor strife looms for MLB, whose collective bargaining agreement with the Players' Union expires Dec. 1, 2021. That coincides with the date Bryant could hit free agency before his 30-year-old season. How much will owners want to spend if they fear the interruption of games? If trends continue, it's fair to wonder if becoming a free agent will represent the same payoff Bryant envisioned when he made his much-ballyhooed Cubs debut April 17, 2015, a promotion delayed 2 weeks to manipulate Bryant's service time. Will Bryant's free agent deal in 2021 provide him more money and security than a contract extension he could sign with the Cubs the next time the team offers one? Would anticipating a bigger payday 3 tumultuous years from now be worth a gamble? Would the Cubs explore trading Bryant after the 2019 season if they can't lock him up long-term? No outcome appears implausible anymore for elite players, not with Harper and Machado playing the same risky waiting game. Marquee free agents Jake Arrieta and J.D. Martinez did a year ago. Not before knowing what contract Rockies third baseman Nolan Arenado, a Bryant peer set to hit free agency next offseason, will command. Not the way teams have stayed away from splashy, nine-figure investments. And not after Bryant endured a left shoulder problem that limited him at the plate in 2018, the kind of injury a contract extension could protect a player from in terms of earning potential. Nobody needs to start a GoFundMe page for Bryant. He avoided arbitration by settling for a $2 million raise and will receive $12.9 million in 2019. But that's a fraction of what the Cubs likely would be willing to invest in a contract extension for Bryant. For that matter, baseball's changing economics and new free agent realities might compel the Cubs to make a similar appeal to 2018 National League MVP runner-up Javier Baez, a bargain at $5.2 million next season, who's on the same free agent clock as Bryant. Neither Cubs star should ignore its ticking. The Cubs have discussed an extension with Bryant, whose agent, Scott Boras, earned the reputation for being the best in the sport by insisting his clients see what the market bears. That policy threatens to test players' patience more than ever given the direction baseball is headed. Boras, who also represents Harper, knows better than anybody how much baseball's competitive balance tax has affected how aggressive teams are. with more big-market teams worried about surpassing that threshold and an increasing number of small-market teams tanking. Similar to how the Astros and Cubs rebuilt, serious suitors willing to invest as much as $200 million on a free agent likely will continue to decline. At best, it resembles groupthink. At worst, it qualifies as collusion. For the Cubs, it could create an opportunity to keep Bryant in Chicago longer and prop the World Series window open a little wider. About the writer David Haugh is a columnist for the Chicago Tribune.